All right, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on potatoes. And yeah, I know the shadow's a little bit rough on this guy, so I'm probably going to use this bucket back here. So these are the buckets. We talked about container gardening yesterday. These are the buckets that I talked about, making sure that you put in a little bit of gravel in the bottom so that way they do have some drainage. Now you can grow potatoes in these, but keep in mind that the piece of the potato that you're actually eating is the underground growth part. So planting this potato today isn't going to give me an edible potato until mid-summer. So just kind of keep a few of those things in mind. Now you can plant potatoes directly into the ground. So if you've got a mound of dirt, you can plant the potatoes right into there, or you can do the pots that I'm going to show you today. So with your potato, everybody said they've got potatoes. Look at all those really great growing parts right there. So you want to make sure that you don't just put this potato in here just like that. You actually want to go ahead and cut it up a little bit so you have multiple plants that you can get growing. Potatoes actually take a lot of room, so I'm only going to put 2 little starts in each of these pots. So what you want to do is when you cut your potatoes, you want to make sure that you get as many of the eyes as possible. So the eyes are those parts where it had that little bit of growth on there that I showed you. So this guy has quite a few of those little growth spots. So I'm actually going to cut this up a second time. The key is, though, that you want to have enough of that root available to help those parts grow. So once a potato is already starting to grow eyes like that, you need to be really cautious of it, because if you do eat it when it's nice and green, it can actually be pretty rough on your system. So you want to make sure that when you're planting these, or when you're harvesting them later, if they are already starting to grow, just put those back in for the next round. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this up into quarters. And that'll give me enough growing points on there. So with that, I'm going to move this into the light a little bit. So with this little piece, one of the things you're going to do is you're actually just going to dig into your soil. And with potatoes, you want to put them down about a hand length down and into the soil, so that way it has plenty of space to grow down and up. You don't want to put this all the way at the bottom of your pot. You actually want your potato seeds to grow from this space out and around. So we're going to put this guy down, again, no more than a hand length down into your pot. And just like that, we've got a potato ready to rock and roll. Again, I wouldn't put more than 2 little starts into each of these bins. And you can kind of play around with it. You can put them in a couple of different heights and figure out how that works. Now, one of the questions that I had asked was, how often do you water potatoes? I don't know. The key with any of these plants is I don't know how to tell you exactly how often to water in your area. How much water you need in each of these pots is really based on how much sun they get, and then also how much of that plant ends up growing. So I put in 2, but maybe only one of them grows. So that space will actually use less water in the long run. Just keep in mind that gardening is about getting to know the space. It's not one size fits all. It's finding out how to work with your garden specifically.